So what did I think about the old story about Larry Bird not liking to be compared to Rick Barry, especially in his career? Um, it was true. Larry Bird felt like he hadn't accomplished anything, and he didn't want to be compared to a guy who already established a legacy. And also, just because they were white, he didn't want it to be, made into like, well, because this is what they do. It's always this great white hype hope that the next one comes along and emerge, and that happens with the writing and everything like that. But Rick Barry's game was different than Larry Bird's. But Barry was bad. Barry was bad. He was outspoken. They both kind of similar, but they're different. Rick Barry was a great player, and as a matter of fact, both those guys, if they were to come back today, would thrive. And if you put them both where teams they used to play for, if Barry went to Golden State, Steph Curry would be even more dynamic than he is. That's hard to say, but imagine Rick Barry on that squad. They would be scary. His style of play would be scary. If you put Larry Bird with Tatum and Brown, they would be scary, but in different ways though. But Larry Bird wanted to establish his own identity. He wanted to be his own creation, and he didn't want no narrative that said that hey, that I'm like this guy. Nothing. There was no disrespect because he had to respect Rick Barry because Rick Barry one of the baddest cats to ever do it. I mean, he led the Warriors to that finals upset against Washington in '75. So Rick Barry's history. And Rick Barry could flat out ball. Now the granny shot you may not be cool, but then again, it was crazily successful. Rick Barry had a way of doing things, so you know, all depends on how you look at it. But anyway, it's interesting. Larry Bird came out and said that he felt that way. He was some kind of way in his feelings about that. Um, Not surprising or shocking though, because again, so often than not, people are quick to compare people and you know within ethnicity, within what they are, what have you. But you know, um, Bird wanted to prove his own value, his own stake, and he didn't want the comparisons. And I think that's the thing. People are so quick. Media want to put you up against somebody, something like that. Just let you be the first one of you. That's the kind of pressure that becomes unnecessary because when you start winning, you create your own identity. But that takes time. That doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to be one of one. And that is what it is. It's a lifetime. It's a journey. It's not just, oh, because it's fashionable. We trying to sell tickets and what have you. Now, it's just like how they probably did the Rick Barry with comparing him to Jerry West. It's unfair. It's unfair. But I think Larry Bird left no doubts about how great he was, and they were on their own. I think Rick Barry has been kind of forgotten on when people have discussions and debates. Because I tell you something, he, if Rick Barry came back, if those two came back right now, who would be more scarier? Bird would be scarier because as an individual, and his game would be more appreciated. But Rick Barry out there with Steph Curry, oh, that would be must see all the time. That would because that man could flat out shoot, and there was no 3-point line when he was putting up his numbers, and the way he scored and created in his peak and his prime. So that would be something else to see how he would flourish, especially with that circus with Draymond Green and all that there. That would be very entertaining. But yeah, that's interesting. Larry Bird did not want to be compared to Rick Barry, and he let it be known. And so I think that's something that was definitely worth talking about. And it's an interesting quote. I read that on Basketball Network, but he went into Slam Magazine's interview in 2011. But I thought I would bring that one back up. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.